How's it going, guys? Thanks for stopping by iDub Hockey. My name's Tyson, and right now I'm here at Bauer's headquarters in New Hampshire, and I'm here with Evan, product manager for Hockey Sticks, and he's going to give us a quick kind of run through of the two different stick lines that Bauer's created. It's pretty well known that you guys have done a good job developing the Supreme line as well as the Vapor. Why don't you kind of let us know what each stick line was developed for?
Sure. So think of it this way: when you're going in to buy a Bauer stick, you have two different options, and each stick has very specific characteristics. So Vapor family, Vapor X60 specifically, has a couple of key features. So the first one that's going to kind of separate it from Supreme is going to be the shape. So if you were to compare the two shaft shapes of the sticks, what you would find is that Vapor is going to be a little bit more rounded. And the reason that we do this is so it's a little bit easier to kind of roll in your hands. It's built kind of more for that agile style player, the toe drag guy, for more of a finesse kind of guy.
A little more dangle.
Yeah, Supreme's going to be more square. The reason that we build that square profile is because this is built for a power style player. For those guys taking those big one-timers and those big slap shots, you want that square shaft, so you're not going to get the twisting in your hand when you're actually like really making hard impact with the puck. So shafts, the shaft shape's a big one. The second one's going to be the kick point. So if you look at the two technical sticks that we have here, the yellow areas are the soft areas, the orange, and then eventually the red are the stiffer areas. And what you can see is both sticks have a very distinctive look to them because the flex profiles are completely different. So with the Vapor stick, we've actually developed what we call our IntelliSense shot technology. So it's a dual kick stick. So softer in the lower, so it's going to give you that quick release on wrist shots wrist shots and snapshots. But it's also going to have a bit of a softer upper on top of that very stiff zone so that you can get that power on slap shots. The big thing with low kick sticks has always been you get a really great release on wristers, but you can't get the power out of that slap shot. You just lean into it and it doesn't do anything. With that secondary kick point, you can get that power, so you can get that dual kick working for you. Supreme, again, built for that power type player, kind of what has been kind of established as the traditional flex profile, if you will, where it's going to be stiffer in the lower portion than softer up top. So that way you can really lean in and load that stick. You know, if you kind of would compare it to a baseball swing, you have your guys who take those short compact swings, you know, that's kind of your Vapor player, but those big, long, powerful swings that you get with some of those big power hitters, that's kind of more how we would classify a Supreme guy. Similar with golf, like those guys with those quick compact swings just make the stick do the work for them. So that's kind of how we describe the difference between the two players.
Would you say then that the Supreme line is going to be a little more easier loading of a stick?
Yeah, well, yes and no. I mean, it really depends on your style. Like, you might be able to actively load a Vapor stick very easily based on how you shoot versus a Total One. Like, I find myself to be a very Vapor style player. I can overload a Total One stick because I'm so used to just getting that quick, easy to load for me because I really put a lot of flex on that lower portion. So I think if you have the opportunity to hit the Bauer demo experience, like those guys, you know, they're guys in a van driving around, big Bauer logo, lots of sticks inside, and you want to have the opportunity to see if you're a Vapor or Supreme guy, track those guys on Bauer.com or on Facebook or whatever, and that'll give you the opportunity to actually use both sticks before you come into the store and buy it. That way you're confident about a purchase you're going to make. So Supreme is super easy to load. It is. It's one of those things that I find maybe the harder you try and make it work, the actually worse it works for you. So kind of like a golf club, if you just let that Supreme do the work for you, and you actually seem like you'll have much better benefits from it. But it really does depend on the style of play you are, which one's going to load easier for you, coming back to the original question. So hope that's enough. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in these sticks, but those are the basic differences. It's going to be the feel of the shaft in your hand, the feel of the flex profile, and then the feel of the blade.
And I mean, one last thing, kind of just going back to the blade cores, if you had to characterize the puck feel on each of these sticks, how would you characterize that?
I would consider the X60 to be very crisp, kind of a newer feel, a crisper. It's kind of that solid feel. It has good absorption properties to it. But it's crisp. Like you can really, I think you can feel the puck everywhere it is on the blade. With
a little more snappy, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Snap is a good word for it, for sure. I think with Total One, you kind of get that more softer, more comfortable feel. I think for any of the guys watching this video, if they're old enough to remember what wood supposedly felt like, that's kind of the way that Total One feels. It just has that kind of soft comfort to it.
Maybe a little more forgiving.
Yeah, even definitely way more forgiving than Vapor would be. I think it's just, when you put into consideration the kick point and the blade material, that Total One can be a bit more forgiving than Vapor. So it's a style thing. It's the way that guys pick up pucks. It's where they pick it up on the blade as well that can affect how the feel is. But that's definitely one of those things that the sticks are significantly different. And if you can, try it, definitely do that. Even if you have to borrow your buddies and he's not looking. So. Yeah, I mean, those are the key differences, and a lot of those things are going to run down the family. Shape and flex profile specifically are going to run down both families.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I mean, that's an important thing to know. Even if you're not looking at the top of the line stick, you're still going to see a lot of these features like flex profile and shaft dimensions throughout the entire line. And I think another really important thing to note is that not necessarily one stick's better than the other, so the Supreme line is not necessarily better than the Vapor line or vice versa. It's more of what stick works better for your play style.
Yeah, you could not have said that any better. It's just like Vapor versus Supreme skates. It's the one that fits you the best, that's going to allow you to perform based on the style of play that you have. That is the biggest key. It's not what's new, it's what works better for you, for sure.
All right, well, thanks, Evan, for giving us the quick rundown. Once again, this is Evan Baker here at Bauer Hockey, and my name's Tyson. And these sticks, both the Vapor and the Supreme sticks, are available at inlineIcewarehouse.com.